Mega Man 11 is a game I've wanted to talk about for several months now. Ever since it was first announced last year, I've had such an interest in this game. Honestly, Mega Man has such a big history in my gaming career that I would think that a game like this, I haven't seen it in such a long time. Like a classic Mega Man game, or a Mega Man game in general, hasn't come out in a long time, since about Mega Man 10. I mean, we had the legacy collections and the like, but we haven't had a Mega Man game in such a long time, and I'm finally happy to see a new game, especially in the classic series. Obviously, this is my first impressions video based on what I played. I both played the Nintendo Switch version of this demo and the PlayStation 4. I will probably be buying the game on the PlayStation 4 for reasons I'll get into in just a moment. But so far, the first thing I want to say about Mega Man 11 is that graphically, it is what I think Mega Man should have been like, or going in this direction, since Mega Man 9. I think Mega Man 9, while interesting, it had a 8-bit graphic. Going back to that, they were trying to emulate Mega Man 2. I think the graphics of Mega Man 11 is definitely the direction I think the series should have gone in a long time ago. I think the graphics are pretty great. I think it worked. They pop both on the Switch and the PlayStation 4. And I think that this game, graphically, is probably the best Mega Man game so far. I mean, I know that's not saying much considering the last games were in 8-bit, but it is still my favorite so far. Another thing I want to talk about is the gameplay, since, that's the most important part. Gameplay-wise, it's just Mega Man. There's not much to really say about it. The slide and your movement, everything is about the same. Your Buster is I noticed a little bit faster. I think it's because of the fact that the increased graphics, you can only have 3 shots on the screen like always, but for some reason I always noticed the Buster was a bit faster than other previous Mega Man games. They still follow the 3 Buster shots on the screen rule, as I said prior, but I think honestly it just feels a bit quicker. I think Mega Man himself is about the same speed he's always been. I feel like the camera could be a little closer to him, if I'm going to add a little criticism on that. I think that Mega Man's a tiny bit too small on the screen, but I think it works somewhat, but I think that, honestly, in my personal preference, I think it should have been a little closer. A big addition to this game so far is this new double gear system that has been added, where Mega Man can either increase his speed or increase his power. Now, most of the time, I'm using the speed gear, the one that allows you pretty much to slow down stuff, even though Mega Man's technically going faster. Because some of these enemies you come across in the game, a lot of them have like this rolling guy who has like this, like almost like a motorcycle, but it has this rolling part that protects him. It's like that small little part where you actually can hit him on the screen, and the speed gear makes quick work of him because it allows you to slow down the screen fast enough for you to shoot him in time. Power gear, I didn't use it very often. I used it against the boss. But other than that, that was pretty much it for that. Nothing big on the power gear. I'll have to see it in with the other weapons. The demo does allow you to have 2 weapons from other Robot Masters, but I pretty much went in cold turkey and just used the regular Mega Buster the whole time. So there wasn't really much big of a difference with the weapons. Pretty much the gameplay, like I said, is practically just Mega Man with these 2 gear systems. I think that the gear system honestly makes the game a little easier than normal, because if you didn't have the speed gear, a lot of bosses wouldn't be going by as quick. And as you may see, or you've seen from other gameplay, when you fight Blockman, who's the villain of this demo, the power gear, it really does make quick work of him. And I can imagine to see what would happen if I had the power gear combined with whatever Robot Master is his weakness, and see how fast that would kill him. I haven't seen that yet, because I don't think the 2 weapons that they give us actually are his weakness. So I think that's a little bit of a plus for the demo, because it has a pretty reasonable amount of difficulty. And in general, I would agree that in difficulty wise, this game has a pretty decent level of difficulty. If you're not a Mega Man buff like my brother is, if you're like me, who's more of a casual Mega Man player, I think this game will give you a decent amount of challenge. I think that the game is it is also like 4 different modes, like, easy, casual, normal, and superhero mode, which is practically just the hardest level and the hardest mode in the game. Of course, they didn't allow us to do this on the demo, but that is probably one of the better aspects of it, that the difficulty is consistent. I don't think there was any parts that I would say, oh, that's unfair or anything like that. Anytime I died or got hit or made a mistake, it was more my fault and my inaction rather than the game throwing something unfair at me. I will add though that there was one, I won't say this all the time is unfair, there was one time where you do jump down on one of these platforms, and then one of the roller enemies that you can't immediately shoot, like of course, because it has that little rolling part that defends it, it'll come down real quick and you don't have a chance to hit it, or you don't have, you know, even with the speed gear it would be difficult for you to hit it, so most of the time it's just better for you to avoid it. But in general, I wouldn't say that there was anything that I found completely objectionable. The game does have its standard E-tanks, all this stuff like that. Even if you were to get hit a lot, you still have a lot of room for failure. The game gives you about a fair amount of lives at the beginning, so it's not exactly anything I would think that anyone would have a particular issue with. Even if this is your first Mega Man game, I would actually recommend you jump on and play it. If this is your first Mega Man experience, hopefully this video will help convince you. But in general, I would say that this Mega Man game is pretty good. And this game is looking out to be pretty good. I've kind of avoided some of the trailers all the time because I don't want to, I mean, I know it's ridiculous, but I like to see all the Robot Masters myself and not exactly be shown a bunch beforehand. And that was actually kind of the opposite. I used to be all about seeing all this stuff beforehand. But honestly, I think this game is going to turn out pretty good, and if they continue to refine the game, because they think at the beginning it always says that there is more to be added, the game is still in development, so whatever improvements they add, good or otherwise, I'm really excited to see, and I can't wait to see when this game comes out in about less than a month. So you can probably expect a stream and possibly a review. Yes, I might actually be doing reviews again, and I think that that is something to be excited about. October is looking to be a great month. Next video, it's probably going to be Spider-Man, and I can't wait for that. So stay tuned for that, guys. This is John Blade 101, everybody, and I bid y'all good day. Have a good one.